Okay, great, guys. Well, welcome to our Mindset Masterclass. I'm really pumped to do this with you guys today because this is just something I absolutely love talking about, educating people about, and inspiring people to take a look at their mindset. And if you really think about it, the most powerful tool that you actually have to help you in life in general, but also success in your business, is right here. It's so powerful. I've lived it. I've seen other people how they think, how they speak, whether it is in a positive or a negative way, affect their business and their success. We can literally attract things to us or repel them by what we're thinking about. So we're so excited to dive in. And an hour on mindset is actually not really a long time, but we want to give you guys some new inspiration and maybe a new way of thinking about things, some new awareness. I'm really excited that I have a co-host today. I'm going to introduce you guys over to Anne, but I want to tell you guys, if you don't know this woman, she is just, I would call her like a ball of energy and light. I mean, the first time I ever met her, the way she greeted me was as if I had been her best friend for a long time. And that kind of energy is very significant, especially if you're building a business and a social community, right? That kind of energy is powerful. So Anne has just been one of those people that right away we clicked. She has an amazing team. I mean, I love all of them. They're all equally as energetic and amazing. And Anne and I just started to network and collaborate and talk. And we just found that we had so much in common, especially when it comes to our mindset, our habits around it. And so I thought this is great for us to collaborate and teach you guys what we do to make sure that we're using our mindset in the right way. So I'm going to turn it over to Anne because if you don't know her, I want her to just tell a little bit about herself. So Anne, tell us just a little bit briefly about yourself, who you are, and why you're so passionate about helping people with their mindset.
Well, first of all, I am honored and privileged to be on here with you, Rockstar Gina. My goodness, what a gift. And to be on with all of you fabulous men and women. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy day. We choose our busy mindset right there. But I thought before we start, because what we're going to be discussing is all around mindset, I thought we could all just kind of come together, be present in this moment, in this hour together, forget all of what happened this morning, or just put it aside. And then what is going to be coming up after one? You know what? Let's just clear our minds. Let our hearts be open to what God's call is for us in this hour. And let's just sit up. Let's take a deep breath. Just relax. Be in this present moment. Let's close our eyes and then just listen to the words. Let the day dawn with music and celebration. I want to be part of this rejoicing, Lord. You give my spirit cause for joy. Turn my thoughts quickly to the blessings in my life so that my day begins with gratitude. Keep me from an attitude of defeat and mourning when I have been given this gift of another day. Every minute is yours, Lord. Please hear the music of my life. May it be pleasing to you and worthy of a new dance. By my rejoicing, Lord, turn the day from the night so that you will be praised and the world will see my light. Amen. Okay, now that we are in this mindset, we're all together for this hour. Grateful for you all. My name is Anne White. I am coming to you live from Carmel, Indiana. I got the pleasure of seeing where a lot of you all are coming from. Again, we're so grateful. A little bit about me. I am married to my high school sweetheart, Jim, 39 years. We have 6 children, 11 grandchildren, blessings, my wife. And really part of our journey when we started in our marriage, and really almost kind of before that, I'm from a family of 9. There's 9 of us, brothers and sisters. So anybody on this that is from a large family kind of gets, hey, when you're in a large family and you want something, guess what? Besides the necessities, you have to work for it, right? So I learned from a very early age that if I wanted something, I had to work for it. So, I started out even in my middle school, high school years. I worked in retail boutiques, and you'll kind of see as you see where my journey went and what we're going to be discussing. That was kind of part of God's plan, a very big part. And then I taught exercise class. Again, in the health and wellness arena, and that is a big part of who I am still, almost at 60 years old. And so when my husband and I got married, our decision, our mindset, our choice was that I was going to stay home with the children. And so a 9 to 5 was not going to be part of our journey. And so I always had, along with starting our family, I always had side businesses, what we called at the time. And whether it was teaching exercise class or making hair accessories, and while the kids were napping, you guys all get that. There's a lot of you moms out there that are just starting out, and you have your network marketing business or your at-home business, and you're working alongside the kids. Guess what? I'm a perfect example that it works. All right. And so a lot of what we're going to discuss today is the journey from starting that to where I'm at today, 27 years with, starting, I always say I started network marketing at 27 years ago with 4 lipsticks in the skincare and cosmetic business. Then I started my own business, AH Collection. And that I've had for 27 years along with my business partner, Holly Kirsch. And so, but guys, when you're starting a business and a family, and you're working through all of what you're doing, guys, there's challenges. That wasn't easy, but it's a decision you make as an entrepreneur. And so with that spirit, there's always challenges. And it's the mindset that you choose throughout that journey that gets you to the success that you are looking for or you want. But it's keeping that positive mindset. And that's really what Gina and I are going to talk to you about today. And in our prayer is that you can take a little bit of maybe of what we bring to you through our journey and through our trials and tribulations. And that you can take a little bit if you're right here and maybe that, not that space that you really want to be in. And maybe take a little bit in this hour, be able to take some of it and move to that positive, loving perspective and mindset. That's our prayer, is what this hour is about. So happy to be here. Gina, can I introduce a little bit about you, my love? Oh, Gina, you're on mute. But I do want before Gina says anything about herself, which a lot of you know, but a lot of you may not know, and she won't share this because she's so humble. But guess what, guys? I cannot wait to share with all of you. Gina was just recognized in our health and wellness company as the newest millionaire in our company. So put it in the chat, a big yes, wow, awesome, cool, you're amazing. Chat it out and let's shout her out, because this is what it's all about, guys. Positive mindset, sharing love, rising up and lifting others. And Gina, we're just so honored that we can be alongside you today. Congratulations. And again, thank you for having me. If you could share a little bit about you.
Yes. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for the love. I'm really pumped to give you guys some of my insight. People ask, wow, how did you build a 7-figure income, a 7-figure business on your own? How did you do that? And I'll answer in the best way I can. It's because I believed that I could. I believed that I could. How did you do that? I believed that I could. And that is a big thing with mindset, is your belief. Where's your belief meter for yourself? And it's a huge part. It's a huge part of the mindset. So my journey really, I always was into personal development since high school. I've always been into like self-help books. I was the 16-year-old in the bookstore going for the self-help books, because I just always poured into that, building myself up. So something I just have always been into, and it's just helped and guided my life so much. But you have to believe you could do something. So when people ask me the first thing, like, what were the steps? Like, what did you do? Who did you talk to? Guys, it all came down to, I believed I was going to do it. I believed I was going to do it, and I trusted God's timing for my growth in the process before I could achieve it. So it's an absolute amazing achievement, and one that I hope I can and just share my journey to inspire others, to show that it is possible. It's very, very possible, but we have to really be in tune with our thoughts. So I'm not going to go too much into who I am. I'll just tell you guys that I have two beautiful daughters, Addison and Avery. We live in North Carolina now. My husband's name's Rod, and him and I started our first business in the fitness industry after we both lost our jobs and were laid off, and decided that we were going to do something that we were passionate about. So we got to work, and we've always been very, very hard workers, and we would always have a vision. So we had times that we didn't have income, that we were struggling. We bounced our rent checks. I mean, there were some scary, stressful times, but the thing that we both had together was the vision of what we would have one day. And we believed it. We believed it so much that we didn't let ourselves get too stressed, because we knew what we were going to create in the future. We knew it. It wasn't overnight, but we knew that we would get there one day. And so I love that we had a little bit of a hard time and a struggle, because it's allowed us to see the beauty of the right mindset and being able to create your life. You know, we're here for one life, guys, one life. So I hope that when you get off of this today, you'll feel extra, extra inspired. But let's just dive right in. What I want you guys to first do, and I love to say this, if you guys have heard me speak, sometimes I say this a lot. You've got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. And what do I mean by that? We need to have some self-awareness around how our mindset could be negatively impacting where we really want to go. If you're not aware of it and you don't really acknowledge it and take responsibility for it, every day you could be spinning your wheels, and your mindset is actually causing you not to grow in your business, in your life, wherever it is. Obviously, we're talking a little bit more about business today. So what do I want you to do? I want you to take out your notebook and your pen, and I want you to write down, I want you to be very self-aware, very, very, very self-aware right now. And acknowledge, what are some things, we all have them. What are some things that can be affecting the way that you think, feel, speak, the way that you act, your confidence, your belief? Because we were born confident. The day we were born, we didn't have all of these things affecting how we think, right? That's conditioned over time. So I want you to think about this. What are some conditioned thoughts? Maybe from childhood. A lot of times that's where they come from parents, from your upbringing, that you really could think back and think, you know, I was conditioned to think of things this way. Maybe it's a money blueprint. Maybe you grew up in a household that had a issue around money, or an opinion about money that is not really in alignment with what you want today. Maybe you feel unworthy. Maybe that came from childhood. Being insecure, worried about what other people think. Just kind of think about any conditioned thoughts. Write them all down. What about sabotaging habits? Now, this one I want you to really think about. Do you know that distraction is actually a way to keep you from reaching your potential? Do you get distracted? Do you procrastinate? Do you sleep in? Are you always unorganized and you just say, I'm just unorganized? Like, what are some habits that can be sabotaging you? Really get real with yourself, guys. Really get real with yourself. Any negative reactions? Are you somebody that gets defensive easily? Do you overreact? Get very offended, angry, triggered? And it doesn't have to be all the time, but does it happen sometimes in certain situations? Self-talk. When you are with your thoughts and you're thinking about your business and you're thinking about building success, do you have negative self-talk? Do you talk yourself out of doing what you feel like you should be doing because you're telling yourself you're not good enough. Your environment, who are you around? Do they fill your cup? Do they inspire you or do they drain you? And then watch the spoken word. You know, think back when you're talking to, say, maybe a teammate, maybe your team leader, maybe a colleague, spouse, when you're talking about things that you have to do for your business, do you ever maybe say things that could be contributing in a negative way or that's not going to serve you? So I want you to take, we're gonna quiet down for a little bit, but I thought, because we want to be real with you too and vulnerable, that maybe Anne and I can each share something. So one thing I'll share is that I have learned through my process of building a business, is that a conditioned thought that I had growing up was that achievements and recognition was considered bragging. And so growing up as a young girl, if I achieved anything, I was never really praised. It was always like, don't brag. Don't brag. You got straight A's on your report card? Okay, great. Don't brag. You made the cheerleading captain of the cheerleading team? Don't brag about it. And it made me feel very insecure about celebrating things, celebrating achievements. And that's something I had to really learn about myself. And that's why I love and embrace my network marketing company so much, or network marketing in general, because they're all about that. They will praise you. They will recognize you. And that was something that I yearned for as a child. I yearned to be recognized in that way, to hear, I'm proud of you. And so I had to release a lot of that. That's just an example. So I want you guys to just keep writing your thoughts down. But Anne, is there one example of something that maybe you had to have some self-awareness around in your career and your journey?
Well, as I looked at this and I was thinking, and as you guys are writing again, I think when we talk about releasing conditioned thoughts, I mean, really going back and kind of what Gina was sharing is seeing the signals, really catching yourself. I love this check yourself before you wreck yourself. I never heard it. I think it's beautiful. It's perfect because it's figuring out when it does trigger the complaining, the excuses, the discouragement, all of those different anger, mad, frustration, those things that you feel. I mean, we all get it, but what do you do with it once you have it? I think that's what this is all about. And I can use an example of something that I think all of us can probably relate to, and it really hits on every single one of these points. Is, several months ago, I had decided to run for a big goal. I know we all have been there in our businesses, our lives. You decided that, okay, I'm gonna really step outside and I'm gonna run for this big goal. Okay, so when you do that, it's a big mindset. And so in our business, it's a Monday to Sunday type thing. I decided that Monday I was declaring it, manifesting it, putting out in the universe, bringing the team along. And guess what? When you do that, everybody knows about it now. So you got to be in it to win it, right? So as I was going along that week, I knew I had to let go of things that weren't going to serve me that week. We all kind of think about that. You got to set your intentions, and then but realize, okay, there's things that week, like I'm not going to be getting to the house. Things that are not going to serve me for this week. I'm going to be in it to win it, and I'm going to do what is going to help me get that goal. And understanding, though, guys, that faith is the most important. And I knew God had that plan for me, if it was going to happen or not. But I sure as heck was going to put in all of what I could in that work to reach that goal. And it was a really hefty one. So we all can kind of, understand that because we've been there before. Okay, so I know I get to Friday. I've got 3 days left. I am nowhere near that goal. Nowhere near. And I look at it and I talk to my business partner. I'm like, ugh. Okay, so guys, at that point, every one of us could look at that and go, start that whole negative, that whole, self-talk. I can't do it. Wah, wah. Nobody wants to talk to me. Wah, wah. I'm going to quit. Your mindset can really play tricks on you then. But guess what? because of the years of experience and where I'm at in that, I was able, at that point, I knew God had the plan, but I did not allow. I remember getting a message from somebody and they were like, stop messaging me. And I was like, God bless her. It's not her time. And I was like, not today, Satan, not today. So again, that mindset of looking at everything in the positive, whose life can I bless next? Whose life can I bless next? As well as with my team. So we're all working together and helping them to stay positive. Again, guys, it's that mindset. And guess what ends up happening? Saturday and Sunday, guys, people came out of the woodwork. Everybody wanted to order. People wanted to be on the team. I had detached myself from the outcome from the beginning stages and knew I was just going to continue to bless. And if God had that plan, but notice the mindset. If you turned your mindset into that negative, I'm going to quit, I'm not going to do it, I can't do it, nobody wants me, guess what happens? You never get to that. And the best part about that is that goal that I reached on Sunday afternoon, there was no chance it did. Guess what, guys? Then I realized in my mind, what? I had thought for years I could never get that, right? There's your mindset. You think you can't, you can't. And guess what? I did. And now it's like, oh my gosh, I did that. Now I'm going to dream and think bigger. So guys, again, look at all of that and realize that if you change just that little bit and move it into the positive of the mindset, look at all the lives you're going to bless as well as yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I find that sometimes, a lot of times, people don't even recognize it. They don't recognize it. So this is what we're doing, is we're writing it down so we can recognize it. Like, even if you are, say you're building a team in a network marketing company, and you feel and you think, in your opinion, is that building a team is hard. It's challenging. It's so hard. Nobody wants to join the team. Nobody wants to really do anything. And you're thinking it, and that's what you say to people. That's powerful energy. That's really powerful energy. So just be really self-aware, write it all down. And then in the chat, I want you guys to just give a number. Now, I'm going to explain. 10 would be a mindset of Tony Robbins. Okay? Like, you know what I'm saying. That's a 10 mindset, Tony Robbins, right? And then 1 would be somebody who, from the start of their day to the end of the day, is in a state of hopelessness, complaining, always defensive when something happens, thinking the worst. Do you ever hear somebody that always says, figures, just my luck, that's my life, always happens to me? Do you know that kind of mentality? That would be a 1. Where are you right now on a scale of 1 to 10 with where your mindset is? If you feel comfortable, just to put the number in the chat, just so we can see where you are right now today. And as you're doing that, I love 9. That's where I feel. Can't be a 10 or quite a 10, but a 9 is very strong. Yes, good. I love this. Thank you. Crazy 8.
Love it.
Thank you. Thank you guys for sharing this. And this is very good for you to see. Keep sharing if you haven't yet, where you are. And our goal, Anne and I have a goal for you, is that after we get off of this call, which is, it's only an hour, right? So you're going to have to continue to do things we're going to show you every day to create new habits, to strengthen your mindset. Just like if you are into the gym and you work out and you're like, I really, really want to have biceps, like really strong biceps. What do? You have to work on that muscle. Same thing with your mindset. You've got to work on that muscle. So this is a self-awareness page. So we're going to move on. If there were still things you didn't get to finish, you can go back and do this. You can still work on this through the next few days, because some of you might want to take a little more time and really dig deep. Like I had to really dig deep about childhood stuff, because I love my parents. I never wanted to kind of go in there and think of anything negative, but there's some things that happened that I had to break that conditioned thought. So now the next step is, how do you build a strong mindset? And, you know, I know that we're going to go into this a little bit and give you guys some things that we do, but one is letting go of the past, right? So, not saying that you're forgetting it forever, but not letting it drag and weigh you down. Acknowledge your thoughts and then push aside any negative ones. It's not about being in denial. You can acknowledge if you feel hurt, if you feel triggered, if you feel frustrated. You can acknowledge it. But when it starts to affect you is when you let it linger on. So I will tell you something that I learned from actually the woman that brought me into my network marketing company, and it's called a God box. And you basically take a box and you have post-it notes, and anytime something is really bugging you, so maybe recently I had something that happened and it was a friendship and it really hurt my feelings and I couldn't stop popping it in my mind and thinking about it, and it made me feel hurt and mad and all these feelings that I didn't want to linger on. I wrote down my feeling and I gave it to God. I gave it to God to let it go. Give it to God and release it. So I put it in the God box. And I'll tell you what, a couple of weeks had gone by and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't had that bothering me. It wasn't weighing me down anymore. So that's one thing I'll suggest that I do is a God box. Giving it to God and releasing it. You're acknowledging it. It hurts. You're acknowledging it. You're frustrated. You're acknowledging it. You feel unworthy. But ask God to help you through that. And then create a positive environment around you. We all saw that assessing the environment, right? Who are you around? Who are the people that are around? You might need to spend more time with positive people pouring into you, pouring belief into you, supporting each other. You cannot focus, guys. I have to ignore. I know that there's naysayers and there's people that will say things behind my back or whatever. I just had to learn to not involve myself with that, right? Bless and release it. You know, that's their issue. If somebody can't be happy for you and understand what your journey is, that should not affect you. If you allow it to affect you, that's your choice. And then setting goals. I shared with you that we had hard times, and the thing that got us through it was that we had dreams. So yes, we were stuck in some hard times, but working on what we wanted to achieve those dreams is what kept us going and kept our mind in that right frame. And I'll tell you, I have read about the brain. The brain doesn't know the difference between something that actually happened, that's a real memory, and something that you just constantly think about. I envisioned so many times the life that we actually created. Like I literally would think about it so much that now it's here and it happens. It's like almost like deja vu. Okay. So you want to set goals always and follow your dreams and practice gratitude daily. And I'll say for the gratitude thing, if you are not in a habit of practicing gratitude, of being thankful every single morning and every night, it's the most important times of the day. As soon as you wake up and right before you go to bed, you need to start implementing strategies to make you really aware that you need to be grateful. Being grateful changes your mindset and state right away. I'll just share one last thing before I'm going to ask Anne to share some things. But recently, we wanted to kind of get the whole family more involved in gratitude. So we're doing this for 28 days where we sit together as a family anytime a day, whenever we all four can. And we started with a list. Rod and I have 10 a day and the girls have 5 a day. And we just list things we're grateful for. And every day we add more, but each day we have to go back and read from number 1. And after we read what we're grateful for, we say thank you 3 times. So if you say, God, thank you, thank you, thank you. My family, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we all read it. And then at night, we all walked and got gratitude rocks. We picked out a gratitude rock. At night, after we say our prayers together, we all hold our gratitude rock and we name one thing that happened that day that we're most grateful for. And that's an exercise that's strengthening everybody in our family. So that's another idea. Now, Anne, talk to us a little bit, because I know that there's, people say, how? I feel stuck. I'm just like, it's hard for me to create these habits. It doesn't come natural to me. So speak on that a little bit. How would you suggest, and maybe some things that you have done too?
Well, I think as we talk about letting go of the past, something about that, if you think about everything in our past, is led us up to right where we're at right this second. So, I mean, give ourselves grace for that, because yes, we know there's a lot of things in our past that maybe are caused us, issues like right here that we can't seem to let go. But those are choices that we can make to either stay in that or again, let it go, because it's only not serving you. If you think about, and if you stay there, and it's something that it continues to harbor in your heart and in your mind, again, it's only causing you the issue. So if you can remember that, let's just say it's something that maybe somebody did to you in the past, or it's forgiveness that you have to give to yourself or someone else. Recognize that. Again, seeing those signals, recognizing that that is what's maybe causing you not to move forward. And again, looking at what you've written down, there might be things in there. So recognizing that, giving yourself grace on that, realizing your past is part of who you are right this second, why you are sitting here right now. And then recognizing that maybe whatever it is that you have to let go, that you can now look at it maybe more in a positive light. You do have choices. And that is a huge part. And I think when you start realizing in your heart and mind that you can look at it either way, that might help you then to move forward more in that positive, loving perspective for yourself or maybe somebody else. And just like what Gina shared about things in her past, that now, again, being able to get that mindset so that you can move on. So, I think these are such important things. The positive environment, you guys, again, that is a choice that you make every day. If you choose to be around, if you're hearing, oh my God, you're the most fabulous, you are amazing, I love everything you're doing, you look amazing. I mean, all these positive affirmations that you are around people like-minded, inspirational, impactful, guess what you're going to be like? And maybe it doesn't happen right away, but as you continue to put yourself into that environment versus the other, and the negative part where you're hearing the wah, 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 and the complaining and the gossip and the things that are not serving you, you have a choice to either be in that or in that. Which one is it that you choose, right? So if you can always just know in your heart and mind again, that really it is up to you. And like when Gina mentioned, and I wrote it down, you know what? It's not our business what somebody else thinks of us. We have no control over that, and it isn't up for us. It's that's theirs. All I can do, all you all can do, is continue to do your life and your mindset in a loving perspective. And when you're doing it that way, that is going to bless that person that maybe doesn't have, because it's their own issue. So when you are starting to get that whole feeling of, nobody wants, I'm not good enough, or this or that, and you think that person is feeling that way, it has nothing to do with you. It's their issue. So if you can remember that, again, that's the mindset, turning things again into that positive, loving perspective. It changes you, it changes others, and that environment that you're in is glorious then. And that's the beauty. So I think the rest of it kind of, obviously the setting goals and the gratitude, we're going to get to some affirmations and that type of thing as well.
Before the affirmations though, and this is something that so important. What are the questions that you can ask yourself, and not only about you, but how you can impact others? So if you are in a network marketing or an entrepreneur in a small business, you are obviously having inspiration to impact others. It's not just about you when you're building a business, it's about serving, right? So when you think about these questions, we have to think about that too. And these are some questions that you can just ask yourself. So it sets yourself up for a positive day right from the beginning. And you like the one here, what's going great this week? What if every week at the end of the week, you just focus on that? How many times do you beat yourself up for things that might not be going the way you want, right? It's normal. It's human. We think about those things. It's a habit, but you can create a new habit. And at the end of every week, you literally just write down all the things that went great. And that's what you focus on. And what have you accomplished so far? I see this so many times with people. They're never really stop to look at how far they've come. And it could be not even something with success and income with your business, but it could just be the fact that you've become more confident in your business. That you've actually made the best of friends because you started your business, right? Those are some great accomplishments that are life-changing. What are 3 good things that happened with your business? So really honing in on focusing on your business, what you're building. What are you grateful for today? Again, that's gratitude every day, morning and night. If you do that every single morning and every single night, that's your first thought and your last thought, that alone will change your life. That's the first and foremost thing. What are you feeling really good about? Always focus what you're feeling good about. And then what do you want to accomplish this year? That should always be something that gets you going and excited. You want to have goals that just launch you out of bed. That you really want to have those goals of things that you want to accomplish for you, not because you're worried about what other people think or what they think you should be doing, but because you have a God-given purpose that you want to fulfill. Now, Anne, talk a little bit about how you work this in with building a business with a team and impacting others and serving others.
Oh, absolutely. And I have to be honest, you guys, when I started again in network marketing in our health and wellness company 3 years ago, my mindset was very different. I've learned so much. And if most of you that are on here are probably either started with a party of one, and now you are either growing your team or your team, is much bigger than you think about. And I love what Gina said about remember to celebrate when you started and the accomplishments that you've had. Where 3 years later, when Gina said that, I thought, gosh, I forget to do that. I think that's so important because remember, even in our business, we kind of go off on when cycles, like getting your first cycle. That was like, I want to celebrate everyone, every cycle that I get or that my team gets, because that we forget. Because, we only, but when we got our first one, it was huge. So I think getting in the mindset of always really celebrating yourself and celebrating others for remembering where you started and how far you've come. I think that's really important. But I love to look at, what is happening within the team and how we can help what's going great this week. I think about for whose life did I bless this week instead of just about me. So I think when you start turning it around and really looking at it like how we added, how do you impact others? When it's about that, it's so, it's such a more fulfilling. And a lot of you that are just starting, you can't even think about that. And that's good, that's fine, because that's where you're at. And so give yourself grace to know that you are moving yourself and inching yourself and practicing and being grateful for every one of these. And then those of you that have been in the business for a lot longer, maybe now not just looking at it as what is great for you this week, but what has been great for your team, and really, looking at it a lot bigger. And it's amazing, the mindset, because that's what I've learned, is now it's not, what I'm going to accomplish this week, it's what my team going to accomplish. And if they accomplish a lot, then I have. So that's the beauty, I think, of looking at these and really kind of opening them up to a bigger platform.
And right now, I want everybody to write something down if you haven't yet, something positive. What is something this week that's happened or that you've accomplished or maybe somebody you helped has accomplished? Just write something that fills you up positively and write that down on your notebook. And the next thing we're going to talk to you guys about is affirmations for building mindset. And the reason this is so important is because there are people who they just don't know how to pour the belief into themselves. And it's not a habit to always feel good and feel confident and have that. But you can create that. You can actually become more confident, more secure, stronger mindset, more belief. And affirmations is actually the easiest, simplest way to do it. And sometimes people think, oh, I don't know affirmation. They really work, you guys. They really work. And I know a lot of people think back to those SNL skits. I think that was SNL when the guy was sitting in the mirror and he's saying, I love myself and all that. And it seems maybe funny, but it really works because you're talking to yourself. And when we don't put the intention of what we want to tell ourselves, what happens is if we're automatically conditioned to complain or to feel unworthy or to feel awkward. Building a business, you don't want to feel uncomfortable or awkward because guess what? That's energy you're projecting. So you've got to fill yourself up to become in the mindset that you wish to have. And affirmations, you guys, simplest way to do it. Here's just 12. There's so many. I would suggest, I'm not going to, for the sake of time, I'm not going to read every one, but I want you guys to take a screenshot. If there's a couple here that really resonate with you that you're like, I really need to read that every day, write it down now. If you have some that you say already and you want to share in the chat, share in the chat. If you need more ideas, you guys can go online and you can look up, like if you are somebody that feels low self-esteem, you can type in affirmations to build self-esteem. If you're somebody that you feel like you have good self-esteem, but you're stuck in your business and there's like a money mindset that's off, or maybe you have this block about becoming successful, I want you to type in affirmations to build success or affirmations to strengthen my money mindset. And you will see so many. And there is a power in reading these to yourself every single day. There's a power to that. So take a screenshot. We're going to go into how you can implement them. But this is the simplest way. Now, how can you incorporate affirmations? Obviously, writing them down, right? Printing it out if you want to type it up and print it out. Writing them down on sticky notes if there's a couple that you really want to focus on. You can have an affirmation of a goal you want to reach. I actually have it, and I think there is one on here that says the screensaver on your phone, your computer. So I had the Legacy Club announcement with the picture that they used and everything on my screensaver. I had it written in my office. That's what I'm saying. I believed it. I saw that it was going to happen. So if there's an immediate goal, maybe you're just trying to hit a new rank in your company, write the rank down, put the Post-its everywhere. Okay. Those could be affirmations too. Positive affirmations while you're looking in the mirror. Again, I know that we're thinking about that SNL, but you know what? It's going to build upon your confidence, you guys. There's power in it. It's energy. There's power in it. So when you look in the mirror, feel good about yourself. I'm going to have a great day. I'm worthy. I'm going to attract the most amazing team to my business. I'm going to bless so many lives today. Say that to yourself while you're getting ready in the morning. Doing exercises, walking while you're doing yoga, meditating. These are all good times to think about your affirmations, okay? It doesn't have to be just sitting and reading. You can do it that way as well, of course, but there's other ways to incorporate it so it's revisiting you throughout the day. And Anne, I know you have a ritual that you do every day. Do you have your notebook with you by any chance?
I actually do.
Good. I think that's so great if you could show everybody what you do, what your habit is about affirmations.
Well, I received this beautiful book from my campus planner from my dear business partner, Holly Kirsch. Thank you, Holly. And guys, 100%. And this is not something, again, that I did years back. I know for a lot of all of us, there's a lot of us that when we get up in the morning, the first thing before our feet even hit the floor is we grab our phones, right? And we're scrolling and we're looking at everybody else's life, what everybody's doing. Ooh, look at her. Oh my gosh. You know, and we've got the news on, right? And what do we know is on the news? Nothing that serves us well. And so how does that start our day? I know that was something that was me years back. And I knew that, you know what, I need to change how I start my day, because that's your mindset. Just like Gina said, you know, starting in the morning, what you're grateful for, finishing what you're grateful for. You guys, that prayer that I led, you know, let the day dawn with music and celebration, that's my first. Lord, please let me speak your words. Bless, whose life am I going to bless today? Starting my morning off like that. And then just like Gina brought up the daily intention and the affirmations, I have there's 20 of them, and I read them every morning. You know, and it's, you know, to live my daily intention, to live my best life and bless others to do the same. So it's, you know, reading these 100%, you guys, changes your morning. And then putting your daily intentions in a beautiful journal. And there's just, you know, to be, to feel, to appreciate, to let go of, you know, filling those out. That is something that literally takes 10 minutes of my morning. And I love a quickie is my daughter that has 5 children. She's a Marine in the, you know, major in the Marines. Her husband just literally got back from deployment. I remember her calling me last week or a couple weeks ago, and she was like, Mom, oh my gosh, I decided that I needed to get up 30 minutes before all the kids did. She's got 5 kids, 8 and under, and her husband was not there for 6 months of it. And she was like, it was just bedlam in the morning. Everybody's running around trying to make lunches, getting everybody in the car, 3 different daycares and schools, getting people dressed. She said by the time we got in the car, you know, the kids are scared they're going to be late, and it's just a madhouse. Who wants to start their morning like that? And a lot of you are on here with young kids. Your days are crazy. She said, I decided to get up 30 minutes earlier before they all did, so I could do my affirmations, my devotion, pray, maybe take a bath, get ready. And she said, it has changed everything for the day. The kids are at much more peace. She's at much more peace. So again, guys, that gives you an idea of, you know, for your business, your family, just to start your day off with your mindset that way, it just changes the trajectory of your day.
Yeah, and you know, I think that so many, put a 1 in the chat if you can admit that this might be you, if you reach for your phone as soon as you wake up. It is such a bad habit. I had to break that too. In fact, when we were dealing with the pandemic in the beginning and everybody was home, and then we got into this funk where we were just sleeping in. Wow, it really, I had to like say, that's enough. I even had to put my phone in my bathroom. I felt like I was becoming addicted to it. And it was giving me anxiety, because the first thing I did as soon as I woke up in the morning was see that I missed messages, that I had emails to get to. And then you start seeing all these notifications, and then you get like Anne mentioned, in the scroll hole, and you're looking, and my goodness, is that not a good way to start your day at all? So I think a lot of people have that habit, and I'm not gonna lie, it was actually tough to break. And the other one too, if you could admit to it, put a 1 in the chat, is if at night you lay in bed and just scroll on your phone. I had to stop that too, because actually it was hurting my eyes. I was getting migraines. I was like literally hurting myself, but it was such I was addicted. I was addicted to it. And it took a while for me to break it. Like I actually, when I would put my phone in the bathroom, I swear to you, if anybody can relate to me, please put a 1 and make me feel better. But I would be in bed and feel weird, like that I wasn't looking at my phone. Like like an addict. Like I was like, oh my gosh, all right, your phone's in the bathroom, you're just ignoring it, just leave it. But it is really something that can harm the way that we have our flow and energy of our day. So if that's something that you need to change, even if that's the first thing that you do after this call is like, you know what, I am going to start my day and I'm going to end my day completely differently. I'm telling you guys, it will actually do wonders. So before we wrap it up, guys, I have something I'm going to share. I did join John Maxwell team of coaches, trainers, and speakers. And John Maxwell is just somebody I really, really resonate with. If you guys know or have ever read any of John Maxwell's books, if you're familiar with him, you know, he's so calm. He's very faith-based type of leadership, and he really promotes leadership. And so one thing that I recently listened to that I just felt in my heart, like I'm going to share this, is called the attitude success cycle. And this is all about how your attitude is about becoming successful, especially if you're just starting out. So the first one is that you're testing things, right? I mean, if you think about it, anytime that you start any kind of business, network marketing, side gig, whatever it is, you got a lot of testing to do. Give yourself grace. You don't know all the answers, right? Even when we started our fitness business, everything was testing. But when you test, I want you to do something. I want you to challenge every assumption. I thought that was so powerful when he said that. Challenge every assumption. Assumptions could kill your success, right? If you're constantly making assumptions about other people and yourself. So challenge your assumptions. And then benchmarking yourself, guys. A lot of people benchmark how they did. Okay, how did I do last month? I'm going to benchmark. I'm going to see how I do this month, or last year did this year. He says, benchmark against your potential. What's your potential? If you really gave it your all, if your mindset was where it needs to be, if your work ethic, your organization, all of that, what's your potential? And benchmark against your potential. Am I hitting my potential? Have I reached my true potential? And watch how that shifts things with your attitude. Next is that you've got to try to learn. So it's trial and error. And he said so many people want to take the error out. They just want to try. The error is good. It's good. It's good to make mistakes because that's how you learn. That's how you learn. If you don't evaluate mistakes, it's hard to grow and to learn. And you want to embrace mistakes because guess what? If you're afraid, I know people have a fear of failure, a fear of rejection, a fear of judgment. And if you're afraid that you're going to make a mistake, you never get going. You never get started and you don't take action. So look at it as a positive thing. You have to do it that way. You try, you test things out, trial and error, and then it's very important that you learn. So mistakes are only a failure if you don't learn from it. If you don't learn from it. If you learn from it, that's a good thing, guys. So that's how you have to look at it. Always ask yourself, what am I learning? In every situation, if you're frustrated, what am I learning? If you're having trouble connecting, what am I learning? It will shift the way your attitude is about your business. The next thing is, then you improve. Guys, this is so important. You want to ask yourself, what am I becoming? Right? You ask, what am I learning? And now you're saying, what am I becoming? And the reason this is so important is because you always want to have an attitude with your success and your business of improving. Now, he said there's two types of leaders. There's the be good leader and the get better leader. So be good leaders or be good people are people that they just want to look good. As long as they look good, they're okay with it. They don't want to talk about being vulnerable. They don't want to talk about mistakes they've made. They don't want to go revisit how hard it was when they first got started. They just want to look like, I got it all together. I'm a powerhouse and everything's good. How do people view me? What does everybody think of me? But if you can do this, be a get better person. Have an attitude of, I got to get better. Because then you're always in a state of wanting to improve for yourself and for the people that you're blessing. How can you bless them? And that's the way, and you have to be like that so that others can learn from you. And also, big part of it is the growth part for yourself and your journey. And then finally, you get to start the cycle all over again and you re-enter, because guess what? You're always going to go a step further, and there's going to be a new test, a new thing to try and learn, a new thing to improve on. And so if you have this attitude, you know, this is how business is. It's a cycle, right? And you give yourself grace, and you put the positive spins on that, on all of those things as you're growing through it. And what's going to happen is people are going to really see you for you, your authentic, true self, and they're going to be drawn to that because they'll know that they're going to learn from you, that you can inspire them. You don't have to. I actually think if somebody's got it all together and they're so perfect and they've never admitting that they're had a hard time climbing or making mistakes, they never had a bad day, I don't know who's going to resonate with that, right? So I hope that this was helpful for you too, just to think about a little bit with your business. So as we are wrapping up, because it's 1 o'clock right now, I want to give you guys something that you all can do. So Anne and I put together a swag gift. And what we want you guys to do, first of all, we're so thankful that you guys took time to either watch this recording or joined us. And we would love to hear on social media what your biggest takeaway was. And just all you have to write is takeaway from my Mindset Masterclass, tag Anne and myself if you can. You could do the @ and tag us, and use the hashtag MindsetMC. Now, if you do this on public, we can search it. So that's how we're going to be able to enter you. So make sure if we're not friends that it is public. Tagging us would be easier for us to find them all. We're going to have a winner, and we're going to give a swag bag. So there's a network marketing book called Momentum Makers, a team building edition. I actually am in one of the chapters, and so I'm going to donate that. I have a virtual assistant that I'm going to donate 2 weeks of her time, and whoever wins this, she said whatever you want to try for her. If it's social media, if it's connecting with people, if it's making graphics, if it's creating a logo. So 2 weeks of work with the virtual assistant from the Social Scouts. And then an invitation to a John Maxwell 15 Laws of Growth Mastermind, which is 5 weeks, if you can do it. And then a Boss Babe t-shirt from the AH collection, which is super cute. And also a 1-hour virtual meditation. So it's going to be virtual. Anybody could do it, with Janae Arbuckle, who donated that to us as well. So this is a really cool Boss Babe swag gift. So we wanted to do something really fun just for all of you participating. So please make sure that you are putting the hashtag and tagging us so that we can get everybody who participated into the raffle. And then before we close, which I am so proud of us, we did this right on time. Oh my gosh, I told you, Anne. I was like, it's right on time. I'm going to leave you with this quote. Nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. And you're in control. You guys are in control because you control how you think and how you speak, how you react to things, and the energy that you decide to put forth. As we are all here for a limited time, right? We're spiritual beings having a human experience. Live it to the fullest. You guys are in control right here with your mindset. So God bless you all. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, and for joining me and doing this together. I thought it was super fun. And I can't wait to hear, can't you, like, so excited to hear what everybody thinks?
Yes.